slight differences in this truck's got manual door and window instead of electric. Way better board than last time. I'm going east instead of west, so maybe that makes a difference by the quality of the product versus where you're going to or something. I think going up there is California gets the cheapest crap and these ones get good ones or something, I don't know. Has a cigarette holder, which is very rare these days, and cigarette thingy. I ran a few of them like that. And yeah, this is what the next 3 days is. Like and subscribe, leave comments, a kitchen flip, peace. Made it to Katy, Texas, which is the suburb right before Houston, right at rush hour. It's about 5:30. As you can see up there, Indian traffic and everything, and my foot just, I'm not in no hurry anyway, but not doing it. So, parking the truck for a couple hours, probably, I don't know, sit at McDonald's till I get kicked out of there, probably. I don't know. Eat the freebie stuff I got. This truck's got bare basics, nothing, you know, there ain't no buttons on this side. It's only got the one of the two cup holders, and it's got an ashtray. It's only got one power thing and the USB power thing. Most of the time when they buy the bigger package, it has 4 or 5 of them. And a gauge for the back airbags and stuff like that when they have all that. This just has a basic setup in the back, and it's pretty rough. Manual window or mirrors. On some other trucks you can hit a button up there on the thing, and the mirrors will come in and out as you want them on both sides. And then of course you got electric windows on other trucks, and bring it down by the button. This one has the roll up. Same for the door, has the manual door lock and unlock. And I can deal with all of that. Perfectly fine with all of that. And then this one doesn't have the armrest. I mean, not the headrest. There should be 2 headrests here, and then the one behind me, but there isn't on this basic package. And then normally they have an armrest here that flips down, but this package don't even have that. So I had to jury rig my own armrest to lean over, and I made all of that work, and I'm perfectly fine with making all of that work, even with the cup holder right there. Not really working with this. It just wobbles around the whole entire time. Just, you know, other trucks have deeper cup holders, but it's like bare bones basic stuff here. You can't even adjust the steering wheel. On the other ones you can adjust the steering wheel up and down. This one you can't. And I believe some trucks you can adjust the pedals up and down. But I will take all that in exchange for a nice, clean, decent board that hopefully won't break. Doesn't look like it's gonna break like the last one. The last truck I took, I had 2.5 times or so the mud flap came off on the driver's side. Well, no, 2 times the driver's side tried to come off, and I had to catch it and re-screw it in. And then 1 time on the passenger side. And then I was passing a bridge right at the California border, I believe it was. And the board broke in like 3 places. And after that I was just done. I let it break off right there and I could have it. And I've delivered it to the place where it's going in Paris, California, and that guy didn't care. He said that they only care about 50% of the time when they have the other kind of truck that has to go across town still after they clean it up. But the type of truck that I delivered did not have to do that. So I lucked out on that one. But running with the decal in the window, you're supposed to have them on doors for quality, to be more visible, blah blah blah. But every time it's at least a bit windy, and then especially if it rains, those decals and tape just come right off. Doesn't matter how much tape you put on it. So that in order to save them from flying off and having to deal with all that, I just got in the habit of putting it in the window. That's all DOT really cares about, except for the state of Indiana is the only state that actually cares if you put it on the window or not. Everywhere else they're fine as long as it's visible for 100 or 200 feet out or whatever the hell they call it. And they have cameras that go along on the side of the shoulder that they read it off of anyway. So I'm just running like that because it's simpler and easier. Keep it all in here, and people can't steal it and without breaking a window and etc. They can't. No, they'd be more apt to steal the plate if they know that transport plates, at least until they're reported stolen, have insurance on them, and they can put them on any vehicle. They'd be more apt to steal the plate. But I just wanted to make the end of this video. I picked this up in the suburb Elmendorf of San Antonio, Texas, and now I'm just about to reach Houston. Later tonight I'll drive through Houston after dark and after the traffic goes down, because that's the only way to, well, in my opinion, the only way to get through bigger cities. Just to save my foot from all this, you know, let the 9-to-5ers go home, etc. But anyway, I'm gonna do that and get through get past rush hour, and then do that overnight here sometime in the next couple hours after dark. when the traffic dies down, and then park it for the night on that side of Houston, so that when I start in the morning, I'll be past the city of Houston when I go. And this one is going to Griffin, Georgia, and I have, today is Wednesday, May 14th, and I have until Monday, the coming Monday, to get it there. It's not in no rush, which is good, because I don't like driving more than like 300 or 350 miles a day. And I'm not going to do that today. Today's only like 200 of it, and then, so tomorrow would be 300, and then the next day would make another 300, and the total was 990. So technically I would be there sometime between Saturday and Sunday, most likely, the way I roll, kind of, or might stretch it out on miles wise in a few more days. But I'll probably be there between like Saturday and Sunday, and then have to wait to deliver it on Monday because nothing's open on Saturday and Sunday, which is fine with me anyway. This one doesn't pay very well. It's 990 miles, pays 643, and then minus my escrow, they take out an escrow up until 500 or up until 1,500 when you get your insurance paid, and I have, I think, 422 of it paid, so they got to take the other half of the rest of 1,500 out. But anyway, each trip they take 40 to 50 bucks, and this time I already know the accountant's gonna just take the 43 bucks. It just make her accounting easier and pay me 600 of the 990. I already know what's gonna happen. That's what she's done before. So this one will officially pay me 600 at the end of it, 200 up front, 400 on delivery. 200 of that goes to public transportation back somewhere or another, whether paying lifts or private stuff, and then the bus or the train or plane. If this does deliver an hour south of Atlanta, and Atlanta happens to be one of the biggest hubs in the country, like Denver and so on, and so it's got cheaper stuff, flights out, so I might be able to score me a cheap flight somewhere. The last I looked, the flight from Atlanta to San Antonio direct was $141, and then plus your seat assignments and everything would be about 200 bucks, and then you include the lifts on either end of that, the lift to Atlanta and the lift to, or the bus to Atlanta, I guess it is, and then the lift to from the San Antonio airport to the truck yard. If you include those with it, I'll be around 200 bucks into it, at least. Or the other option I saw is I could fly into Chicago for $81 plus the seat assignments and all that. And then I could take the subway for the $5 or whatever it is, and I could take the South Shore Line commuter train out to South Bend for 15 bucks. And then I get a lift from there for about 30 bucks or something down to Goshen, Indiana, and take something from Goshen if they happen to post something from Goshen, Indiana that's long enough to make it worth my time to go up there. Because it's this time of year now, it's summertime. It's nice weather up there too, even overnight. So I have to keep that in mind. And then of course it's speaking of weather, it's 102 to 108 degrees this afternoon, depending on where I'm driving through. I'm not sure what this one is right here, probably 103 or something. So I'm gonna go in a nice cool McDonald's and cool off. I'd take heat any day over the cold weather though, so I don't care about 108 degrees. I do it all the time. The only issue with 108 degrees is that it's harder on equipment to run, because the engine heats itself, let alone, and then of course the outside temperature being 108 degrees ain't the greatest on liquids in the engine and coolant and all that on vehicles. Newer vehicles don't have as much of a problem, but that's the only issue with driving stuff in the heat. For me wise, I could drive stuff in the heat all the time, you know, especially if it has decent enough AC. I don't really care then. I'd rather do that than freeze my butt off overnight. But anyway, this is a long video. I'm going to get it posted for you. Like and subscribe. The next video will be the other half of this trip, and then probably the trip up to Atlanta airport. Peace.